Gentlemen, sorry again, as always, for this tardiness. Not as always, I don't know why I say as always. It's only been twice now, but either way, I apologize. It's been a really busy week, a lot of chaos and stuff. It's no excuse, I apologize nonetheless. Again, that's it though. No more. Done apologizing. Jesus Christ. On the plus side, I get to enjoy this cocktail while staring at the scoreboard and laughing at Brian, assuming that Stanford running back doesn't score like 30 points tonight, which I guess is possible, but then unlikely. Anyway, and also grateful that I didn't feel the wrath of leaving 38 points on the bench in one player. Another 11 points in another player. Anyway, who cares? We're not here to talk about fantasy football. What is this? We're here to talk cocktails. And we got a doozy tonight. And this is going to be a fun one. Well, I don't know. I say that every night, don't I? But I like this. Anyway, today, this evening, the cocktail that I am mixing up for everyone, including myself. This is dirty. I don't know why, but it is. So I'll use a clean one and wash that other one. I'm glad I saw that. Jesus Christ. Where was I? Oh yes, cocktails. Oh, so the cocktail tonight is the Red Hook. So, you know, the league cocktail for the season or whatever was the Slope, which in essence was sort of a Manhattan with some apricot liqueur added to it to kind of spice it up a little bit. This is a very similar idea. It's essentially a Manhattan, but we are using maraschino liqueur instead. As you've no doubt noticed by now, most cocktails are just like the same exact thing as another cocktail, but you add one weird extra thing or take away one thing or substitute one thing. But you know, it's very incestuous, the cocktail making world. So, all right. So with the preliminaries out of the way, we can start mixing, starting with half an ounce of maraschino liqueur. And I do have like a single question, or a couple questions from a single person. Very excited for the first one. These are all from Brian, and he wants to know, first and foremost, how many points will I lose by this week? Sucka. Ha ha ha. Negative 30 or so. Which means I win, of course. So yeah, take that, BK. Try and suck on me, son of a bitch. After the half ounce of maraschino liqueur, we are going to do half an ounce of sweet vermouth. When this recipe was first created, it specifically called for the Punta Mas style sweet vermouth, which I've used in cocktails in the past. I'll be honest, it's a half ounce, by the way, of the sweet vermouth. You know, I've often said it doesn't really matter what kind you use, and I stick by that. So, sorry, gentlemen, I'm not sure. I might have made the wrong measurement before. I can't tell. Oh well, whatever. I'm discombobulated. I apologize. It's been, like I said, it's been a long week and a long day. So anyway, yeah, use whatever sweet vermouth you have. You know, Punta Mas, whatever the fuck it's called. It's fine. It's good. It's yummy, but the taste, like flavor profile and differences between various sweet vermouths is very minimal. Frankly, I feel like if you don't have the palate of somebody who drinks lots of different vermouths, then you wouldn't really, you know, in a cocktail, you probably wouldn't notice much of a difference. So and who drinks a lot of different vermouths. That's kind of weird. So anyway, the next question, how are the Cubs looking this year? Not too bad. I think they won 90 games today. They won their 90th. They secured home field advantage for the wild card. So that's pretty exciting. Their offense looks kind of interesting in the last week or so. We'll see if they make some noise in the playoffs. Fingers crossed. Who will win the World Series? I do not know. I've been asked this question, I think, every year that I've been taking questions on this cocktail thing. And I usually have like a good feeling about who will win. I don't know if I've ever guessed it correctly, but at least I have a feeling. But this season, I don't know. It's been a very weird one. So even the teams with the best at records, you know, I guess like you could go chalk and say like, oh, the Brewers have the best record, but like, really, the Brewers are going to win the World Series? Like, that seems absurd to me. I just, maybe, man, I don't know. But hey, they are, you know, they won the most games this year for a reason. They're a very good baseball team, so, and they've never won before. I guess it would be kind of neat for a team who's never won before. In regards to that, the Padres have a shot. They've never won before, and I don't think they will this year, but they're in the playoffs. And a third team that's never won before, the Seattle Mariners, are also in the playoffs and looking pretty good. So, if I had my druthers, it would be one of those three teams. Probably Seattle number 1, San Diego number 2, and then Milwaukee, I guess. I don't give a shit about Milwaukee that much, but it is fun when teams that have never won before win. So, that's who I'm hoping for. Most realistically, it'll probably be the Dodgers again, somehow. They'll pull it out of their ass in the playoffs. Or some random weirdo team like Boston somehow will succeed or something like that. So, but yeah, we'll see. I guess anyone's got a chance this year, right? All right. We've got the sweet vermouth and the maraschino. Now we just need 2 ounces of this whiskey. I am using rye whiskey. The recipe says rye whiskey. But again, whatever you want. It's not that big a deal. Any whiskey you got. Whiskey's whiskey, right? I mean, yes, there are differences between whiskeys, and I'm sure that there are, I've mentioned this before, that there's probably like cocktail chefs, bartenders, people who would say, oh, well, if you're using bourbon instead, then that's not a Red Hook, it's a blankety blank. But it's like, come on. Whatever. Let's not split hairs. All right. I will now go and fill my cup, my mixing thing with ice, and come back and mix it and pour it into a glass and drink it and say cheers. So, uno momento. And I'm back. I'm ready to mix this up. Brian's final question is, have I been to the Nook recently for a Juicy Lucy? For those in the know, a Juicy Lucy is a cheese-filled hamburger that's very popular in Minnesota. And the Nook is the best place to get them. And frankly, the best place to get any hamburger, and go bowling, and eat cheese curds, and drink Grain Belt on tap. And no, I haven't been recently, and I want to go now. Like immediately, but I won't. It's one of those fun things where like, you know, it's so it's a neighborhood place that's very close to where I live. So you would think I would go there a lot, but there's just so many places, you know, for how rarely we eat out as a family and stuff. It's, there's just lots of options in the Twin Cities, so it's hard to always stick with a regular place all the time. But I will go soon, Brian, and I will post a picture of me with a Grain Belt, and it will look as wonderful as it sounds. All right, gentlemen, this is like a traditional Manhattan. It calls for it in a chilled coupe glass instead of serving it with ice, but you can drink it however you want to. In fact, I often do have this with ice instead, because that's just kind of more my preferred way of drinking cocktails, but I sometimes like to follow the rules. And I will garnish it with a delicious cherry from the fine folks at Luxardo. Why not? In the spirit of things, gentlemen, cheers. I hope you enjoy. This fine cocktail. And it is a fine cocktail. And, yeah, fuck you, Brian. You, as of now, are losing and will probably lose. I don't expect you to win. I anticipate that I will end up victorious. Like 100%, that's my bet. So, yeah. How great is that going to be? Gentlemen, cheers, and I will see you by Thursday next week, I promise. No more delays. Cheers.